26, 27.5 or 29?
You know,
Since online selling, so na marami na nga ang online selling ng bike parts, does it affect your business directly?
no naman.
Hindi
Kasi, as I see it, you have to complement each other. There are some items kasi na you buy online, especially the small parts like tubes, mga consumables.
Yeah.
But I think brick and mortar shops will still survive. Kasi at the end of the day, most of the things you buy for a bicycle, you need a mechanic or you need professional services to help you install those parts on the bicycle. So yes, there might be parts. For example, you can buy tires, bicycle tires, online. It's easy to install. However, if you, for example, if you buy a fork, a suspension fork, you might get a good deal online, pero eventually you still have to talk with the local LBS, local bike shop, to install the fork on your bicycle. So
Yes.
it complements each other. It complements the I guess the important thing is you don't price gouge. Kasi there are some people na who really drop prices. That's bad. That's
Yeah.
bad for the industry. There are some naman who jack up prices because of demand. There has to be a reasonable price for items. And I believe naman the industry corrects itself.
The use of alloy versus carbon.
Okay.
Is it okay to use, for example, your frame is an alloy and you use a carbon fork,
Okay.
or vice versa?
Okay. So there are four main materials used for bicycle frames. Steel, aluminum, titanium, and carbon fiber. The cheapest bicycles usually have straight gauge steel tubes, but there are high-end bicycle frame manufacturers or brands who use quality steel tubes. Those really ride so well. After steel is aluminum. Aluminum is also one of the cheaper brands, cheaper types of material to be used for bicycle frames, but it's light, yes, but it's very jarring because it doesn't absorb any road chatter, no. Once you damage your aluminum frame, that's it. You cannot anymore repair it, so you have to replace it. Titanium is the strongest, basically the strongest frame material you can use, most durable. Comes at the price.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
It's the right quality is second only to steel, high quality steel frames. Now, the fourth, which what you mentioned, the carbon fiber, that's the more common frame material used now, especially for full suspension bikes.
Yeah.
It's lighter, and with the advent of technology, it's more durable than carbon fiber frames like 20 years or 10 years ago. Now you can even repair carbon fiber frames. You can. I've helped a couple of guys do that. It's okay. It depends on the layup of the carbon fiber when they build it. But generally, a lot of frame manufacturers like to use carbon fiber as the material of their choice for high-end bicycles,
Yes.
because of the weight consideration and the ride quality. You can use carbon fork with for road bike, no?
Yes.
With aluminum, titanium, steel, or carbon fiber frame. Normally for forks, for mountain bikes, it's usually aluminum forks, suspension forks, or steel. There's no problem generally using different materials on the bike. There's just a concern. For example, when you use a titanium frame with titanium seat post, you should apply grease, because if it's titanium to titanium, that tends to bond.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. So what happens is that, for example, you have a titanium frame and the seat post is also titanium. You just put a coating of grease.
Yeah.
but at least it won't bond to the frame.
Oh, okay.
Mga little thing.
We all know that Taiwan is really the premier manufacturer of bike. There's so many bikes that are being sold made from China.
Yes.
I see some of them are really good quality.
Yeah.
What can you say about those brands that are made from China that are doing good right now in the market?
There are naman, importante naman yan is the build quality because there are several brands, American and European brands, who did the R&D in Europe or in the US, but the manufacturing process is done in Asia because it's cheaper. But what's important is the quality control. Kasi yung iba is, I know some friends of mine, they actually had to station quality control guys in China. So every frame that goes out is checked by them. Then it's shipped out to the different countries. There are some, fortunately, some brands who don't have the same quality standard as the other name brands. So for my rule of thumb is, if I get a brand, if I get a bicycle, I get a branded bicycle because you're not only buying the brand, but you're also buying the quality control that they use in building the frame. Okay. When you say support athletes, that's the NSA, di ba? So each organization, association, sporting organization supports the athletes under the umbrella type of sport. I can't really say how do they support, but what's important is not only the NSA but grassroots support of the sport through schools, where schools they do the programs to encourage people to ride a bicycle, responsibly and safely. That's more important than just developing or promoting the sport through competition. For me, okay, when you talk about cycling, for example, cycling competition, it's naturally advantageous for the host country, and it's expected of the host country, especially for cycling, for the cyclists to get medals. Kasi for example, for mountain bike courses, the mountain bike courses are made by the competitors themselves, diba? So they have an advantage in track reading the course. They've been some have been using those courses for a year, as compared to their opponents who come in just a week or 2 weeks before, do 1 or 2 day track read and just compete, no? So there's naturally an advantage for cyclists of the host country when it comes to international competitions. But as in the world stage, still far away.
It's too far away.
Super.
Regarding rin ba yan sa training na ginagawa natin, or
Wala kasi, honestly, I think wala tayong long-term planning. In other countries kasi, cyclists are or athletes are taken care of at a young age. Then it takes years or decades in training them to get to the point where they can compete against other countries. Here kasi it's chances are the competitors just train for a year. But there's no comprehensive, consistent plan to really promote the cycling competition in the Philippines.
So you think competitions like Tour de France is really far away from?
Unless of course there's a Filipino who or Phil-Am
who really based in
who's based in Europe, then and competes there. There have been organizations, for example, I think 7-Eleven had a team that competed around ASEAN, no? And that's just really good because that that expose them to the level of competition around the region. We need more of that, but that has to be but that was a private endeavor, specifically because they wanted to just promote the sport, no? But there has to it has to come from the government to establish a comprehensive long-term plan to really promote cycling competition.
What's the future, sir, of TLBF? What are your plans for the future? So obviously hindi natuloy ngayon kung ano man ang
Hindi natuloy
plano.
kasi this year we're supposed to do three cyclocross events all over the country. Then that includes one in Leyte, no?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's really difficult to
Yes.
conduct a sporting competition now. Not only because of how to bring competitors to the venue, but the potential risk
Yes.
of spreading the virus during the competition. So we talk with the family, and our sense is that it's best to wait until next year. It's better safe than sorry.
Yes.
So in the meantime, what we're doing is we're just trying to help promote the sport. Trying to encourage more people to ride a bicycle, and try to make people understand, how to make cycling more popular, more acceptable in the Philippines. It's not just, let's say, you're poor, that's why you're riding bicycle. No,
Yeah.
you're riding bicycle because of the benefits to you, to the environment, especially to your health. Huh?
Yes.
So that's what we're doing now. But hopefully 2022 we'll go back. We'll have a bike festival. Hopefully.
So, okay, I've learned, sir, that everyone in your family are cycling enthusiasts.
Yeah.
And it was your dad who got you into cycling.
Yes.
Pwede po bang kwento niyo sa amin about your dad? Did he encourage you into cycling?